So when I upload this, I'm gonna put them all together because I turned off my Wi-Fi, and I think that's what messed up my connection. But we're back again, so we're gonna try it again and hope that we don't get knocked off again. Let me make sure I invite her back in. Riv. All right, hopefully it'll connect. I know I had this issue back in the past, so I gotta always keep my Wi-Fi on.
Hello.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay. So I know same thing. I turned my data on. That's probably why it disconnected. But you're good. You're crisp and clear, so you're perfect.
Great.
So you were saying about the question was about your journey. How did you start? Overall, just with not with training people, but for you, just with fitness in general.
Yeah. So I'm gonna come by it super frankly, because the reason that I train people the way that I do and kind of performance based, I would say necessarily rather than aesthetic, is because when I was growing up, I was really, really, really out of shape. But typically, when people think out of shape, they think overweight or underweight. But
Why does it say unable to join? That's so weird. New request. Accept. Come on, IG. Fail me. Dang it.
we're back.
Yeah, I don't know why it knocked you off though. Let me make sure. Because I don't have it on private. Let me make sure. That's so weird. Because it's just frozen. Let me see.
How's that? That's okay?
I just can't see. Your audio is perfect. I just can't see. Hold on 1 second. Invite you. Matter of fact, come out and come back in one more time. Let's see. Hopefully it'll work. Let me see. If not, I'll just try it on my other page. Let's try it again. Accept. Okay, perfect. All right. If it doesn't work again, then I'll just do it on my other page, and I'll see. But it looks good. It looks good. Okay. So you were talking about being out of shape.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So how I started and the reason that I train the way that I do, I'm gonna try to speed through this in case it cuts again. Is yeah. Just I was saying that typically when people picture someone out of shape, it always relates to weight. You think, oh, they're underweight or they're overweight. In my case, I was always, I guess luckily so, at a pretty within a normal range. But I was very out of shape, and even as a teenager, I couldn't jog one block after a bus. I couldn't run for, 30 feet. I would get pain in my throat from trying to do that. I was so out of shape. So I feel like it's this huge thing that we overlook. That's just how you feel. That's a huge part of health. It's your energy, it's your performance, it's your mood is part of health. So that's a major part of what I like to focus on with my clients. And when you see the typical kind of things out there today, it's still very weight focused. So
Yes,
exactly, yeah. And it's health is so much more than that, and fitness and nutrition is so much more than that.
wow. Now, do you feel like most of your clients that you train are more of them on the looking for health or looking for weight loss? What do you notice?
I have a very even split down the middle. Half my clients are looking usually to tone up, lose a couple pounds, and my other half is like, I don't want to talk about weight. I want to notice my energy changing. I want to feel good. It's very split.
Perfect. I'm glad you said that because it's something people don't look at as often as they should. You want to look good, but what's the sense of looking good? You look fantastic, but you have no energy. You could look model thin, but you're exhausted all the time. You're sick. You're nauseous. So I'm so glad finally somebody else brought another perspective. Truly feeling good. So what happened after that? So after you had started training, what happened, or what got you to actually want to start training after that moment?
So mine is, nothing too out there, but basically I had to start kind of with fitness classes, and that's how I started within my professional journey as well. Because when you don't know what you're doing, and we're talking like 15 years ago now, so you didn't have all the same access to everything on social media, every tip, every hint that could help you. I kind of didn't know where to start. I was fresh out of being a teenager, so I kind of just started with classes, and I was out of breath and my calves would hurt just from like walking. But the first things that I would notice was, your energy, your mood, you feel stronger. And from there I went into personal training. I went into lifting weights. I love lifting weights. And from there it just spiraled into everything.
Nice. But what was the moment where, and I love asking this to everybody because it's a special moment that everybody knows, especially trainers, we all know it. But what was the moment where you first started seeing like the inklings of the change or the result that you wanted?
Yeah, you're so right. We all know what our moments are, right? We know them. You can picture them in a quick second. I have two that I remember. One of them was when a bus was about to leave about a block ahead of me, a long block ahead of me. And I raced to catch it, and I did, and I got on, and I was like, oh, I'm not like out of breath. My throat doesn't hurt. I'm not gasping for air. So that was wonderful. And then the other one, which I think a lot of people get this one too, is just, we all do our groceries, and when you're walking home and you're like, oh, my arms, they don't feel like they're about to get torn off of my body. They're stronger. So that too.
And besides that, I think it's important because it's something that we all collectively relate to. Everybody that I talk to, either in the gym or just on social media, it's something that we don't really speak on, but we know it. We've experienced it. That one moment, and it never leaves us. It never leaves us because just with you, you explained it like if it was yesterday because we always remember it. But I think it's important because it keeps you going. But speaking on keeping going, what kept you going, when you didn't see results? Because it's something that I always try to help people, even if I'm training them or I ask trainers about their clients, like to motivate them. But what kept you going when you didn't see the results yet?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, what I found kept me going is, again, it was just kind of like once your body is used to exercising more often, when you stop, your body's like, well, whoops, you feel way worse pretty quickly. So it's the kind of thing that is very hard to come back from, or at least without a little bit of guilt or a little bit of noticing, because if you've been exercising and then you stop, you can pretty quickly usually feel the difference, even if the visual differences are not there. So for me, that kind of kept me into it. And I think for a lot of people, I think that's a really huge topic, because people look, most of us don't want to exercise 100% of the time. and our couch calls to us, and it's getting colder outside. And you said fall was your favorite season before. It's mine too, and that's all about, you know, Netflix and popcorn and and it's very easy to fall into that trap of just wanting to snuggle up and just kind of be there every single night. But when you start to lose your exercise routine, very often I think the first thing that anyone feels or notices as a difference is not physical. It's like, oh, my mood is worse, my energy is lower. And pair that with guilt, and it's, you know, you want to keep going. That's the truth.
Exactly. So for you, it's more like that habit. You know, I'm sensing it too. It's more of that habit that you notice first, and making it a lifestyle. Because I'm noticing that, you know, even just with what you post on Facebook, you make it a lifestyle more. And I think that that's huge. And it's rare. It's really rare, because you'll have trainers that just post, you know, their mindset stuff, but connecting it, making it a habit, you know, it's rare. And I think it's key. It's key to that longevity, and making it something that, you know, you make it a part of you. It's not where it's just like, you know, I just work out and that's it. Like, it's a part of what you do daily, like as you're brushing your teeth or something.
Well, that's it. And I think when people only focus on the physical, they're much more likely to fall off the wagon than if they're taking notice of all the other changes that are happening. Because exercise, it's like, it really is like the best medicine. It makes you feel great. It, you know, it improves almost every sickness out there. And let's not even get started on the medication industry, which is a huge industry. And very often these problems can so, you know, I don't want to be as bold as to say can fully be solved, because medication has its place in my opinion, but very often these problems that we do adapt to and end up having, whether it's diabetes, whether it's poor posture or pain or anything like that, exercise will take care of that. It's so important to have it in your day. And it doesn't have to be crazy workouts. And I don't think everyone needs to bodybuild, and I don't think everyone needs to have the same workout or the same style. But everybody should, in my opinion, you know, have interest in their own health, have interest in themselves, and take care of themselves.
True. Now, have you noticed that with clients, the change in mind? Well, I shouldn't say the change in mindset, but have you ever noticed, you know, you have one person who maybe they're more, you know, result focused. They're like, okay, I want these results. And somebody who's on the opposite end, where they're like, you know, I want this to be, you know, my lifestyle. I'm more focused on the process. Do you notice a change? Well, not a change, but just an overall either morale change or difference in between the two different mindsets in the gym?
I can tell you one off the top of my head that's clear as day, because I deal with both of them. The people who are more focused on like a numerical result, this weight, this look, whatever. First of all, they're much harder on themselves. Very often, even if they do get to their goal, they do tend to fall off the wagon a little bit more, and they just kind of have the mindset is a little bit more, for whatever reason, their mindset is a little bit more tending to punish themselves.
Wow.
Whereas, yeah, like, I love that question, because it's kind of mind-blowing to see the difference.
But what does that look like to you? Like them punishing themselves? Because I do mostly, I would say mostly athletes who are trying to get back into fitness. So I don't see it as much with them. But I know this, you're probably speaking on people who are like, you know, doing either weight loss or trying to get fit with limited time. But what does that look like when they punish themselves personally?
When they punish themselves, they're like, you know, I had a slice of birthday cake here, so I'm not going to eat anything tomorrow. Like, that's an exaggeration, but it's that kind of thing. It's like, it's punishing themselves. And by the same token, very often what I see with those clients is that they don't actually celebrate their milestones. So they might lose a couple pounds and they're not excited about it.
Yeah. And then it just drains you, because you're like, I put in all this work. So it's like, it's emotionally killing you, because you're putting in all the work and you're not stopping to like smell, you know, the roses and smell the result that you got.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I try to remind them of. You're putting in so much work. These results are coming. You can see them. You can feel them. They're visible. They're tangible. And yet, I think people, what I've noticed, like I said, is people who are focused on only the physical side, they don't celebrate those. You know, they might have a goal of losing 15 pounds, and if they lose 5, they won't celebrate it. They're like, no, this is the end and that's it.
Wow. Now, what do you notice from the opposite side? For people that, they're more process oriented, what do you notice from them?
Yeah, I mean, from the other side, the funny thing is that people, my clients at least, who are more focused on, I would say less tangible results, but what feels real to them, so mood, energy, that kind of thing, they celebrate every milestone. They celebrate when they lose weight, they celebrate when they feel better, they celebrate when they get better sleep, they celebrate when their water intake is higher. They're like, it's so interesting to see.
And I know you get to see it training them. You see like the mood increase, the energy increase. That's huge because you want to be in the gym, but you want to have the energy, and then you can track that daily because you get to see, during this workout that I have more energy. So that's huge.
Yeah.
So moving on,
Mm-hmm.
what got you into training people?
Like I had touched on a little bit in the beginning, but really what gets me into training people one-on-one, because I had started with group fitness. One-on-one is just, it's very, very rewarding to work with somebody who kind of doesn't know where to start, has these goals. We have the skill sets to help, and then they reach their goals, and it's just like, at the end of a day, it is a bit of a life-changing thing for anybody who augments their fitness level or health level. So, I mean, it's just is a super fulfilling thing for me to work within that. And a lot of my clients, my seniors and my younger, like more athletic as well kind of clients, I get to know them really well. So it's super nice to really know, like, who their partner is, how they're living, what their job is, what makes them stressed, and you develop like a deep connection with your clients.
True. Now, what would you consider the difference? Because I do have trainers that all of mine do one-on-one, but some of them they want to get into group. What would you say is the difference? Or what would you say they should think about before maybe jumping out or wanting to do it? What would you say they should maybe question or have a concern about before doing that?
To get into group fitness training?
Right.
Group fitness training really is a whole other ballgame. And I still teach group fitness because I love it. And I think a major portion of it, and what's exciting about it, is that people are coming and feeling a community instantly. It's not like you're doing it by yourself. You come in, everybody is there with the same goals as you. You get to know people. It's like a super nice way to kind of build a like-minded community, So if you have trainers who are starting with personal training and they're looking to get into group fitness, that's a major aspect I would keep in mind. Build the community. And I think the second thing is you need to be loud and you need to be able to control a room of people.
I mean, it makes sense. And that's what I was telling them. It truly is, hence the name of group activity, but just the whole sense of, the connection, but being able to manage multiple people. Because if you're struggling with, two, wait, give it some time, and then maybe, see how you do. But I think that's super important. Yeah.
I mean, another thing as well, just in terms of that, is your exercises would have to change. When you're in a group of people, you can't pay attention to every single person all of the time. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't give super difficult or very intricate movements. I mean, that wouldn't be ideal in a group fitness setting. That would be a good opportunity to tell your class, hey, if you want to work on these things, come work with me individually, but you wouldn't necessarily bring that in.
Right. So definitely. Yeah. So do you still do group though?
Yes, I love teaching group fitness. That's why I still do it. That's the only reason.
Okay, perfect. So we'll link that in later so we can get some people in, because I know that since we don't do it, there are people who've asked. So we definitely want to get them in with you. But
we have a lot of online stuff. Whatever they're looking for, we got it.
Perfect. Okay. So let's see what other questions that they have for us. Let's see. Okay, how long have you been training? Well, training people, not training yourself.
I've been training people for about 11 years.
Nice. Okay. So
Yeah.
good amount of time, really good amount of time.
Yeah, it flies.
It does. It really does. It really, really does. Because I feel like I just started. I've only been in 3 years, but it flies, especially with the whole pandemic, and having to switch to the whole online thing. That's the only reason why I do online, because mostly because of that. But
You were doing in person before that?
in person, yeah,
Yeah.
changed a
Yeah.
whole lot.
Oh, it's totally different moving online. But it's great though. There's so many more resources you can offer online that you can't offer in person at the same rate. So
Truly. And then training people in different locations as well. That's the biggest benefit. That's been being able to
yeah,
train people in different countries, different time zones.
100%. Sometimes we have to work around the time zone.
True. So let's see. What was the last one? So the last question. So why is fitness important to you?
Well, that's a loaded question. Yeah,
Got to get the last one, make it strong.
I love that. This is important to me because my own experience is that it improves and augments every single aspect of your life. You train, however much you train for everybody in whatever you like to do, whatever sport in fitness, and the benefits are just endless. Of course, there's the physical, but I know, and I keep coming back to that, but there are so many emotional, mental, health benefits that you get that just your whole life transforms. Like before I was into fitness, I had, a little bit of I wouldn't say anything too crazy, but being completely honest, a little bit of these kind of depressive sides sometimes. And when you're a young adult, you don't really know what to do with it. And fitness is one of the easiest ways that you can start to improve some of that. So with that said, I mean, it can change every aspect of your life. There is no one that I would not suggest some element of fitness to.
Definitely. Right? And it helps a lot. Like you said, with the mental health, I think that's key. And I think that's why a lot of us stay in it, and also why a lot of trainers, I'm starting to realize, from doing interviews throughout the week, why a lot of trainers continue, and they don't just say, oh, I'll just, either do social media, or they might say, I'll just do like another profession. It's, the help, doing something that helped you and wanting to see it in other people. I think it's huge.
That's it. It changes lives. It really does. It's so corny, but it's true.
It's so true. So I want to thank you so much for coming on. We are going to have more episodes during the week, so you can watch those. For you guys that do the interviews with me, I leave up my trainings. I do the social media Saturdays. So for you guys, since you guys spend time with me doing interviews, I leave that up for you guys permanently. For everybody else, I take them down, I think 24 hours later, usually about 1 to 2 days later. But for you guys, for my thanks for you guys coming on, I want to make sure that you guys can have that. So that'll be up to you within the next maybe hour. So you'll have that. But I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. May I offer something to your audience?
Not a problem at all.
I actually have, with this interview in mind, I created it's a completely free thing, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. If you ever have any clients or trainers, I would say more so clients, it's a bit more at a novice level, who are kind of stuck, they can't get to a gym, they want to work out, but really at home and in shorter bursts is the only time to do it. I created like this essential guide to home workouts. It has different exercises, different ways to look at workouts, different things to consider. It's totally free, and if they go to Stronger with Rivki, just like my IG handle, .com/home workouts, then they can get access to this ebook. If anybody is interested, I welcome you to come take it.
There's some folks that they just wanted, something. They didn't specifically want a one-on-one trainer, but they wanted something that was to guide them per se. So that's perfect, because I did have one person that did ask for that.
Yeah, that'll be great.
That's perfect. So we'll link that in. Other than that, we're gonna have more shows coming up, and I want to thank you for your time, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Have a good night.
Dude, take care.